How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Slow Cooking Sunday, and in today's episode we are making something that's not in the book but is a recipe that my partner has done quite well. It's called Campfire stew, and it involves obviously gammon, and it is so good. So we're going to get straight into it. We're going to start by obviously just chopping all the veg and getting it prepped. Right, so we have everything ready right here. So literally the good thing about this is you can just chuck it all in a big pile because it's all going in together at the same time. So we've got 3 bell peppers, 8 mushrooms. You're meant to have 2 large carrots. I worked well, we've got probably about 1.5, 2 onions, and 3 cloves of garlic in there. Then we've got here a tin of beans that'll be going in, chopped tomatoes. We need a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of coriander, and a teaspoon of cumin, a pinch of chili flakes, 2 tablespoons of puree. Obviously we've got the gammon here soaking in water just to get rid of its saltiness, and then kidney beans. Right, so here we go, here comes the fun bit. So the slow cooker isn't turned on yet, so we're going to add everything in. So start with the gammon joint, and then we will add in the peppers, mushrooms, onion. Try and make sure it's kind of even, everything's coated too. There we go, obviously the garlic's in there too. Awesome, and then I'll put the dry ingredients in because then we can kind of push it down with the beans and the chopped tomatoes. Obviously we are going to stir it, so it's not the end of the world if not everything is completely equal on each side. And then obviously we want the chopped tomatoes in, and then it is a teaspoon of paprika, slowest pourer ever, so about that. There we go. A teaspoon of cumin. This will be easier because the lid actually comes off on this one. There we go. Teaspoon of that. And then a teaspoon of coriander leaves. And this will be the easiest one because this jar is also full. There we go. Awesome. Then we want a pinch of, chili flakes. These are chipotle chili flakes. Obviously we don't want it to be too much, so there we go. And then 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. Get me thing out, there we go. So that's 1. Chuck that in. Obviously tomato puree adds flavour, it also helps thicken a tomato sauce. So it is very useful to have, and it is also a very cheap ingredient. And 2. And now the next job, we need to give it a good stir, get it all mixed in, like so. Just make sure pretty much everything's mixed together, the beans, the chopped tomatoes, the puree, everything. There we go. I'd say that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to set it onto the high setting for 6 to 8 hours. I'm going to do it for 8 because it just makes it that much nicer and I've got the time to do it. So alright, I nearly forgot the kidney beans. I put them a bit out of the way, so again, let's give it another stir in. Luckily, there was only about a 10-second gap then from me realising that they weren't actually in the pot. That could have been bad if we'd come back in a few hours and I'd seen them there on the kitchen side. There we go, awesome. Right, I will see you in 6 to 8 hours. Right, so it has been roughly now 7.5 hours, so I'm going to grab a fork and we're going to have a look at how this is looking. Okay, so I'm going to try and take this off without burning myself. Well, it's looking very good. It smells fantastic, so this should very easily, probably easier with two hands, so that's what we'll do. Okay, so the gammon should, like that, just pull apart. Look at that, there you go. It looks fantastic. Oh, it's just ripped up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to shred all of this and mix it in. Right, so I've just shredded it all now. So now we're just going to simply mix it all in. Want all the flavours mixing together nicely. There we go. I can't even begin to explain how nice this recipe is, honestly. If you're gonna make anything that I've made on here, give this a go, because it's just brilliant. Here we go. Lovely. Right, let's get it dished up. So it doesn't look the most appetizing, but honestly it is so good. I'm going to give it a try just to remind myself in a minute. Now I'm just doing it big bowls on its own. If you look, we've got quite a lot left over as well, so it serves really well. Obviously you can bulk it out, you can serve it with like mash and things like that if you want to. We usually have it with crusty bread, but we haven't got any at the moment. But yeah, like I say, it's so easy and simple, and it's so good. So there we go. So like, if you have a look, I've tried to get a bit of everything. So we've got the gammon on there, some beans, you know, the baked beans and kidney beans, a bit of onion, and obviously all the sauce and everything just mixed together. So absolutely perfect, especially as it's starting to get a bit colder now. That's going to be perfect for the winter. Right, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, do all the usual stuff. Leave it a like, drop me a comment, let me know what you think. Obviously, you're not already, make sure you subscribe to me for more content like this and more. And hopefully, see you in the next video. Bye bye.